Hello there, everyone. My name is Aaron Burr, and welcome to the We All Can Change podcast, where I help others heal this planet to live a more fulfilled and healthier life. I do all this in a pretty non-extreme, not too serious way. Seriously. So, I am talking about my trip to Nicaragua. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm going to be talking about the people there, some sustainability stuff, the food, and then just some stories I have, I guess. Yeah, sure. If you didn't listen in to the last podcast episode, I basically announced that I am flying out the next morning. I was recording at I don't know, it was probably 11 p.m. or midnight, and I had to wake up in 4 hours. Yeah, my buddy called me up that day, just invited me there. He's like, "You want to go to Nicaragua?" And I'm like, no, I can't. And he said, "Sure you can." And I'm like, "Nope, I can't. And he's like, "Yeah, you can." And so I went. That was that. We met up in, Atlanta airport, and then we flew on the same plane actually to Managua from there. Yeah, super spontaneous. And if any of the Sefton family is listening, thank you so much for inviting me and taking me on that trip. It was a memorable trip, and I will remember it for the rest of my life, probably, for sure. Absolutely, no doubt. Thank you so much. So we had no plan. We just were flying into Managua. Colton had his surfboard, so we definitely knew we were going to do some surfing. And I was on all adrenaline at this point because I had no food. And I had Rice Krispie treats that my mom packed for me. I had Rice Krispie treats and Pringles, I think, in my backpack. Yep. Yeah, it's delicious. Thank you, Mom, if you're listening to this. I was on all adrenaline. Wasn't really eating because I'm not really a big fan of spending $1,000 to eat a sandwich from the airport. So didn't do that. Luckily, the bus station that we found was actually in a market and just surrounded by fresh fruits and vegetables and all kinds of good stuff. So stocked up on some fruit and veg, got some bottled water, and we found a bus to San Juan. Yeah, it was chaotic. I mean, we eventually decided we were going to San Juan just because there's a lot of good surf spots around and just a cool destination apparently. So decided on that. All the while, we had 50 people in our face, trying to get us to give them a bunch of money to get a taxi, and it was gonna be 120 US to get down to San Juan with a taxi, and then it was it was $6 to take a chicken bus, basically. So that's their local bus transportation. It's just a school bus, basically, and I mean they call it a chicken bus. I'm assuming because you wouldn't be surprised if a cage full of chickens just wandered on there or something like that. Oh, it's great though. All locals, so you just gotta experience a good experience basically. They every time they stopped, someone new would come on, trying to sell you some food or some fruits and all sorts of delicious treats. So, and of course, me and my friend Colton were just pretty hungry still. So it's just clear, those two gringos in the bus, just "Oh, what do they got? What are they bringing us? All right, sweet." Yeah, we were totally just sold for sure. No, it's great. Yeah, living in Arizona, I spent a lot of time in Mexico, and so I had the idea that Central America was going to be similar due to Spanish colonization and whatnot. And so I knew it was going to be different, of course, but I had a feeling that the people would be just as nice, if not better. So that ended up coming true. At first glance, of course, just chaos. You're in Managua, this big city, and it's kind of trash everywhere and smoggy trucks. And I'm like, holy crap, this is crazy. And luckily we found our bus though and everything. I don't really typically judge a book by its cover like that. And so that's because I know that the US, like the country I'm coming from, it's really one of the major contributors to climate change, like way more than this country that I'm in, despite the trash and the visual things that I'm seeing, right? America is a non-visual polluter, typically. I mean, you can obviously see like some smokestacks here and there, but other than that, it's like you don't really see our consumption too much. But it's hefty, of course, and so I know that, and so any typical judgment that you that I'll have like that, it's stemming from my my insecurity about either my own impact on the planet or my country's impact, basically. So yeah, I try and stay away from that judgment. So yeah, we grabbed a chicken bus. The people were great, just the nicest people. Everyone was ready to help you out as long as you tried to speak and at least spoke broken Spanish. Broken. I can't even talk. Broken Spanish. So yeah, I mean my Spanish isn't very great, but I definitely got through the days for sure. Yeah, just great people, and along the ride it was I was noticing some pretty pristine areas, like you would cross this river. Some of them would be polluted, trashy, something like that, but then you would see these other ones that are pretty pristine and pretty nice, just flowing through. And you notice like these jungle areas and these beautiful farms. And so just like any other country, there's development and there's just so many people in some places. Then you get out of those areas and you see these beautiful pockets of nature, basically. So yeah, it's beautiful. And our bus didn't make it all the way. Like the sun set and we got stuck in some town that we had no idea where we were, and everyone was getting off the bus. And we're like, this is not this is not San Juan. And luckily the bus driver comes back and he's like, where are you guys trying to get to? And we're like, San Juan. He's like, oh no, we're not going there tonight. So we're like, of course. But luckily he called us a cab and it was only like 20 minutes the rest of the way. So we made it. And beautiful, like just beautiful, like little bay there. And oh yeah, good people and just a lively atmosphere and culture. And we kept hearing this Sunday Fun Day thing from our driver and then like people on the bus, and just kept hearing it over and over again. So we're like, okay, we got to do this. And so we did Sunday Fun Day. Is basically a pool crawl. So you have all these hostels in and around San Juan, and a lot of them have these nice pools. And so it's just like a pool bar crawl. And some of them you can walk to and from. It starts at like 12, but we get there like 2 typically. We got there like 2. So the first couple you can just walk to and from each hostel, each pool, basically. Yeah, it's DJ and drinks, and some of them even had food. Yeah, it's great. I mean, at some point, like the sun's starting to go down, and they start to shuffle you into these trucks to to shuttle you up to these different hostels. And so the first one that you get into the shuttle for, it's what is it called? I think it was called the Naked Tiger. And it's like this sweet hostel up in the mountains, and they time it perfectly so that right around sunset you're up there. So you're in the mountains, you have this beautiful pool, everyone's dancing, and then you have the view of San Juan, the bay, and then the mountains too. Is like just awesome, just so cool. And so then they just keep like shuttling you like through these dirt roads and to these different bars and hostels. Just awesome, good time. So we explored the San Juan regions and saw all the surf spots, and so we did some surfing for sure. We rented dirt bikes, to get to Madeiras Beach, and I I thought we were just gonna be like on paved road or like around the city and stuff. And so I rented a scooter and Colton rented a dirt bike. And it turned out because I didn't really want to deal with like I didn't feel like shifting a dirt bike like through a city all the time. But we ended up just on a dirt road the entire time to get to the beach, like back and forth. so, so Colton's on a nice dirt bike that can handle, I mean, basically like going up a mountain. And here he is on a dirt road, so it's like piece of cake, right? And I'm on a scooter with bald tires, and they have these speed bumps that they build for keeping the dust off of houses and stuff, making people slow down. And my scooter would not make it over, like it kept bottoming out. So I realized I had to jump the scooter over these bumps. So I'm like just like smashing through the dirt road on this scooter. It was just great. I took care of it. It was fine. But yeah, we did some surfing. It was pretty cool. I'm not very good at surfing by any means. I've done a lot of boarding stuff in my life. Like I've skateboarded, snowboarded, I've wakeboarded. So I've got the getting up part down. I've got like the surfing part down, but not the getting out to the waves part. So I just kept getting just like pummeled, like just destroyed over and over again by the waves. Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, it's a good time. But it was beautiful. I mean, it was awesome just sitting out there and getting up a few times. And yeah, it's crazy. It takes a strong individual to like to surf like that. It's wild. And I mean, I had a big board every time, so like I couldn't like duck dive under the waves or anything, or at least I didn't know how to. So yeah, I got wrecked, but it was awesome. Yeah, I mean, along the way, like I start to notice like these cultures and these little communities are actually starting to push some pretty cool sustainability stuff, actually. So first thing I noticed was this chocolate bar company. I forget the exact name, but it's under the umbrella of Enliven Cacao, basically. So this cacao farm supplies their plants or their cacao to all these different chocolate bar companies, basically. So really cool what they're doing. They're kind of, I mean, they're really pushing sustainability in the fact that they're growing all their plants within a rainforest. So they're not like man-made farming these out. They're letting them grow naturally, and they're being sustained by the beautiful resources that rainforests have, and they're just harvesting it from there. So it's really cool. I mean, that's about as sustainable as it gets for sure. They're pushing things like gender equality. They used to be making like, I don't know, something like as little as $1.66 per day from coffee beans, because they had no access to electricity or any sort of media or anything that they could learn and see what markets are available. And so they eventually realized, of course, that cacao is a big market and they're growing naturally there, and so just beautiful things are coming to fruition. And so yeah, I mean, they're just really pushing some really cool things. So I'll definitely send a link to that. And then the hostel we stayed at was called Casa Oro, and really sweet place. It's an eco hostel. They have a huge tree going up in the courtyard in the middle, all the way to the roof. They're making their own kombucha. Their cafe food was all locally sourced. The dishes were all handmade by a local community out of clay. They're doing all sorts of like repurposed materials. Like their tables were all reclaimed, like pallets, and they had like those, like you can heat up glass bottles and flatten them and stuff. They had like that kind of stuff in the walls, and like with the sun coming through. So it's just super cool what they're doing, and they're very health minded, regenerative minded, like back to the basics, community kind of minded hostel. So really sweet seeing what they're doing. They had compost and recycling and like a repurposed bin, which I've never seen in the whole country yet. And so that was super sweet to see and witness. So very cool hostel, and they seem to be pushing a lot more stuff than just their own hostel in the whole community and beyond. So yeah, I'll show a link to that, and you can check them out. And hey, if you're ever in the country, I mean, definitely go to that city and then go to Casa Oro for sure. Beautiful. And so yeah, we did a lot. We did a lot of surfing. Colton went home, and I was originally going to leave with him, but then I got convinced, and I mean, I didn't really need any convincing. I really I'd love to stay, but yeah. So Addison, his brother, I'm really good friends with both of them. They're two of my best friends for sure. And he came down, so I stayed. So we spent another week there. Did Sunday Funday again because he came on a Saturday. Then we like the next day Sunday. Did that. Then we pushed on beyond San Juan because I basically, we stayed in San Juan, did some surfing. Addison was kind of ready to go explore, and I was down to do that. So yeah, we pushed on, grabbed a chicken bus to Leon, and just a beautiful, beautiful city. They have like a college, they have a college there, so they bring in young people, and they have like one of the oldest cathedrals in the whole country, I think. Either oldest or biggest, and combined, they're oldest and biggest, maybe, I don't know. But super beautiful and just amazing. I had the best tacos there, just like street tacos were like 50 cents each, and middle of the night, it was awesome. Just beautiful, beautiful moment. Yeah, the food is amazing there. It's just, it's simple, but so tasty, like the way they make it and everything. They have markets all over the place, so I was eating tons of fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, and yeah, it's pretty easy to like eat pretty plant-based down there for sure. I mean, everyone eats beans and rice anyways just because it's so affordable, and then they have access to all sorts of fruits and vegetables because of the climate. So it's fairly simple to eat pretty plant-based. I definitely ate a decent amount of meat just because it was kind of, yeah. I mean, it was when I travel, I try and eat the local cuisines at least a little bit. So I definitely indulged on some pretty dang good stuff. Outside of Leon, we hiked a volcano, and yeah, it was beautiful. It was right outside the city, and it's kind of surrounded by like this national park or forest. It's all preserved and protected, and we hiked it, then we sledded down it too. It was terrifying. so it was through the hostel that we stayed at. They do like tours. They take you out in this huge truck, and you can sled down it. Gosh, so terrifying. I don't realize like my fear of heights until I'm up there, right? I'm like, this is gonna be sweet, and then I get up there, I'm like, I'm terrified. I'm gonna shit my pants. And I did all this in like no sleep too. We got into Leon the night before. We like bust all day because it took all day basically, and then we like wound up at this party hostel that no one goes to bed, and like in particular the people in our room like we're just in and out all night. So I didn't sleep at all. I had zero sleep and climbed a volcano and sledded down it. So the adrenaline definitely woke me up, and so that was great. It was definitely a great experience. I loved it. Then we took a shuttle to Granada from there, and yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful area. They had a lot more trees and a lot more nature in the city of Granada. I noticed, like by the water for sure, and just a different vibe, and it's its own thing, right? So we did the city there. Spent a couple nights there. We went to Laguna de Apoyo, and that is a freshwater lake that is heated by a volcano actually, and So just like it kind of reminded me of northern Michigan. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. I haven't had like a freshwater lake in forever. And so it had like natural minerals like sulfur and other minerals and stuff that were good for you. It's just a beautiful, beautiful time. We only spent like 5 hours there, but I could have spent like a full week. It was awesome. I just picture myself up at they have these little like different levels, so you can hike up. Then you have this little platform, this gazebo thing with some coffee, and people are doing like their computer work. I just picture myself like doing my consulting stuff or writing a blog or doing a podcast like right up there. It'd just be so sick. So I was stoked about that. Did some kayaking and got sunburnt and headed back to the hostel, and we went to a treehouse hostel rave that night. And that was our last night that we thought was going to be our last night in the country. And so super cool. Like you have to get this shuttle again, like through this 2-track, like in the middle of the jungle, and you get like dropped off. Then you have to hike up this like super steep trail with all these rocks and stuff to get to the tree house. Just amazing. And I wish I could have seen it during the daytime, but the rave was pretty fun and pretty crazy. So that's definitely a must see. And there's spots where it's definitely above the tree line, so you can just see out like so far. It's just amazing. So treehouse hostel outside of Granada in the jungle. And so the next day we headed back to Managua to fly out. Our flight did get canceled, so we spent another extra day there and just like hung around this like super like touristy hotel. And it was I mean they paid for, like the airline paid for it, so it was fine. It was cool. And so yeah, then we flew out, and that was it. That was the trip. I mean, I definitely missed a lot of details, but I mean, just a great time and amazing people. And it's crazy that like there's a level 3 travel advisory right now from the States, and then maybe from Canada might be lower. But yeah, like level 3 travel advisory. So no one's going there. So it's just it's kind of sad that the tourist industry is being impacted by all the things going on with the government. But I can assure you, it was a pretty safe time. I mean, obviously I'm a white male, so it's different for me being like I'm like 6'3", like it's different. Like there's people that are in different situations. I get it, but all in all, it seems like a pretty safe place. That the people are not what you have to worry about. It seems like the police are what you have to worry about. Just from my opinion, I guess I have a problem with authority. Maybe that's not true. I definitely I believe in our legal system and our police here. But yeah, it seems like these people aren't doing a whole lot, and they're being pretty oppressed and harassed by their government and police and military there. So yeah, it doesn't seem. I mean, there's crime everywhere, just like anywhere else in the world. But the people seem just so kind, and they don't have a whole lot, and they don't really seem like they seek a whole lot either. They seem happy and content and ready to help you out, and as long as you're not like mad that they can't speak English, they're not going to be mad at you. So you just gotta embrace cultures, and yeah, it's beautiful time. It's crazy that they continue to push through on issues like the sustainability that they're pushing, and equality and social security, all that stuff. Like they're pushing back despite a pretty oppressive government, and they seem to be raising their own quality of life without assistance of their government. They're kind of on their own, and so that's what I like to see. I like to see like people taking matters in their own hands, because even in a country like the United States, there's only so much that our government can do, and if we sit back and wait for our government or our leaders to just save the world for us. It's never going to happen. So we got to start now, right? We got to push these movements and push sustainability in our own communities, so that way we can meet our leaders halfway, if not more than halfway, if we have to, because it might come down to that, right? It might come down to that our government just isn't getting it, and so why risk it and why put it on our leaders when we can do it on ourselves, basically, when we can do it on our own. So that I'm definitely motivated by their country, and it's beautiful meeting all the people, and they continue to be so incredibly kind and nice and courteous despite all the things going on. And so you see these pictures of polluted and deforested areas and developed areas, and everywhere has a movement. Everywhere has a movement of sustainability and social justice everywhere, like no matter where you are. And so we shouldn't get down about these areas. We should get involved, right? We should stand up and step up, right? I mean, when you hear about countries or states, or even your own backyard being degraded, we got to remember that there's people out there that are already changing things or are ready to. They're ready for change, and so we need to lay down the tears, right? And we need to join up with a group or start a group and get involved, because we can't sit around and wait for someone else to do it, or for our government to save everything, or for corporations to change, right? We gotta tell corporate. We can't just tell corporations. We have to stop funding these industries, right? We have to give our money to companies we believe in, and nothing's going to change if we continue to support and fund these industries, right? So we can do so much right now. Saying that, oh, it's up to the government. Well, they don't really, at the end of the day, in like a capitalist economy, they don't have the power, right? They don't have the power compared to these corporations. And they probably never will, at least in the United States, right? Because that's kind of what we're founded on. We're not founded on like restricting business and controlling companies. The people, the customers control companies. And so I think we need to get on that ball there. You get it. You get what I'm saying. I'm done splurting. I'm done spewing out those ideas. You get it. So let's get on the bandwagon of sustainability. Vive la resistance. You know what I mean? Let's join up. Yeah. So that's Nicaragua. Yeah, that was a beautiful trip, and I would definitely recommend it. Like anywhere else, they're pushing some pretty cool things despite what's going on. They may be something like 59th place in the 2018 environmental index, but hey, they're doing some things, and so cool, good for them. That's pretty much all I've got here for you today. I hope you liked my story. I hope I didn't talk too fast. I guess I'll know once I go back over this. A little update about me. I have a moving date. I'm leaving Florida April 18th, so it's official. I'm pretty sure I'm going to northern Michigan to spend some time there. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I love the summers there for sure, and winters are also their own special beauty too. So I'm excited to spend some time there. If any opportunities come up, I will grab them, and maybe I'll be somewhere else. But for now, my plan is to go back to my hometown, Traverse City, Michigan. So if you're listening to this and you're from there, hey, I'll see you soon. And I'm excited to get involved with the community and maybe host some events. I'm excited to host some speeches and some community events and projects to get involved in and whatnot. So I'm stoked about that. I know a lot of people that would love to have some of that stuff in Traverse City. There's already great stuff going on, but I'm excited to push it even further. So hey, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it around. Of course, I don't really pay for any marketing or ads. Still don't know how I feel about advertisements. I hate advertisements, and so I don't know if I want to contribute to that. We'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. But for now, I'm not doing any ads, no marketing, paid stuff. So you're it. I mean, you are my marketing. I'm relying on you to share this around if and only if you think that those people would get value from it. Like if they don't care or if you think like you're just doing this for me, hey, don't worry about it. But if you think like if you have the need to share this around and show it to someone, yeah, I would love it. I'd very, very appreciate it. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And if you are tuning in and you aren't signed up for my weekly email update, if you're looking to stay updated or anything on when new episodes or blog posts come out, you can sign up on what's new. Basically, you can sign up for what's new. I'll kind of update things like, of course, the blog posts, podcast episodes, but then other things like me and what's going on and next events maybe and stuff like that. So there's no clutter, not ever. So don't have to worry about that. I won't be bombing your inbox up with a bunch of emails. Just one email every Sunday morning. It's like a Sunday paper, or it's like morning church, or it's just like a regular email if you don't want to expand your imagination. Just kidding. So just head over to weallcanchange.com and you can enter your email at the top of any page. When you do that, it'll send you a confirmation email. You have to hit the confirmation email in order to be fully signed up. It's like, hey, did you mean to do this? Yes. And then that's it. But it'll probably go to your spam folder at first, just so you know. So keep that in mind. Check the spam, check the promotions if you have Gmail, all that good stuff. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. I'm excited to bring some more. I'm kind of back on track again, so excited to be throwing some podcast episodes at you. Thank you so much, and take care.